Hey you, welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. My name is Satchmo. This is episode 35. Today we're going to be using the Skyreach spaceplane that we built, except we're going to be using a slightly modified version of it called the Skyreach Mayfly. And we're going to switch him up for a scientist and start to fly it. And I think if you saw my last episode, the eagle-eyed among you might notice the small modification that I made to the spaceplane, to the original Skyreach iteration. Otherwise, I'll explain it to you. Yeah, it's these big rockets at the bottom that I added. Well, you'll see while we're doing this. Let's go ahead and launch, and we'll talk and fly at the same time. I might have to shut up a little bit and kind of focus on flying it briefly, but that'll be okay. Right, so I wanted to get this thing into orbit without using its own orbital capabilities, because it's pretty much limited to getting into space once based on how much fuel it has, and there's no way to refuel it. So this thing has one one shot to get into space, and I want to go into space twice for the thing that I want to do. So I figured I would just strap a big old rocket to it and launch it into space, and then it'll kind of glide down back to the planet. We'll do the thing that we want to do, and then we'll go into space from there on its own. So I wanted to do this in kind of a space shuttle style, like real life space shuttle. And I was having just a hell of a time trying to do that. The idea then would be to attach a rocket kind of along the belly of the thing, and then you have to angle your thrusters through the center of mass, and it just balancing it was very, very difficult. And so that didn't work out so well. Am I kind of falling gradually? I should be kind of doing a little bit of a gravity turn. I don't want to be too aggressive with this vehicle, but I think I can afford to tip over a little bit more. Anyway, so that wasn't working. Then my second plan was to, unfortunately the sun's over here, I should have waited until morning. My second plan was to attach an I-beam to the bicoupler here, and then to the end of the I-beam build my rocket going down kind of in the very center of the thing. However, because of the shape of the bicoupler, you can't get the I-beam, or at least I wasn't able to, get the I-beam on there, and then have the rocket build out kind of like perfectly in line, like perfectly centered, like where you would want it to be. So that was a failure. Wasn't able to do that either. So then I realized that you could attach things to the toroidal aerospikes. There's actually like a little attachment node on the aerospikes. So then I just said, well, I'll just build two rockets. Since it's symmetric on either side of the plane, building the two rockets should center the center of thrust along the center of mass, and it should work, and indeed it does. So I just built two individual rockets. They're not technically touching. They're very, very, very close together, aren't they? There's a crack between them, and then of course you see them. They're strutted together, and they kind of act like one big rocket, and it's actually pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty neat. Yeah, and this works out just fine. So this is a rocket that launches the plane into space. Now, why do I need this much rocket? I don't. The mass of the plane isn't really that great. But in fact, I don't think I put fuel in all three of these. I think some of these are empty or partially empty. But when you have something like this, and there's this much drag at the top because of all these wings that are, because it's a plane, when you're trying to fly it, the thing wants to topple forward because these wings are catching all that drag. And so you have to kind of really build this thing far out and then put a lot of wings on this side too to balance those aerodynamic forces. So it's big for kind of in a kind of mechanical way. It's not big because of the kind of the brute force that I need. It's not big because of the fuel, the power. It's big because of the drag. So there's a different kind of design philosophy with that. So I'm gonna go on the other side of my apparatus. There's a couple of seconds here before I start firing again. Just wait just a hair longer. Okay, now I'll start firing. And also I'll start pitching up as well, kind of going in a more radial out direction. So gaining both a little bit of speed and a little bit of altitude as well. And so this way we're getting distance. The combination of those two things is going to give me a good little bit of distance, which is what I'm looking for here. Not really going to orbit with this thing, I just want to fly very far. Alright, likewise, I want to be pointing south a little bit, which I want to say is this way. Hope I don't get this wrong. Okay, yes, there we go. Yes. Let's go ahead and point anti-normal. So there, kind of hard to tell. Okay, go back to the prograde marker. I don't really have a whole lot of authority over this big old craft, as you can tell. I might just give it a little gas just to, so I can at least use the engine gimbal to get me over there. There we go. And perhaps there, perhaps a little further. That's fine. I think that'll be okay. Okay, we're going to try this. I think this is where the Badlands are. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm going to flip over to a map real quick so we can look at it and see. This right here, these black dots, it's kind of hard to see on the screen. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. These dots right here apparently are the Badlands. And there's this like little red thing here, which I believe is that mountain. And then here's these two kind of lakes next to each other. And if I'm reading the map correctly, damn, it's dark. If I'm reading the map correctly, here we go. You can see in the light these two things here. And then down here, I think this is that red dot. So this area should be the Badlands. So I should be passing over the Badlands. Alright, I don't think I need this anymore. Let's go ahead and make a new stage like I should have done already. And that's quick save. I'm going to be quick saving and probably reloading a lot this episode. A couple of those things. Very cool. You were fun while you lasted, but goodbye. They're just going to hang out behind me. And then also, yeah, you get these little rings that fall off. Pretty cool. I fully expect I'm not going to be alarmed when these solar panels that are on the bottom get destroyed. When I put the solar panels on the bottom, I wasn't expecting to be re-entering before I actually launched the thing, you see. So, like the regular space plane, this wouldn't be a problem, but because I'm re-entering the way I am, it will be a problem, and they probably will explode, and I'm just going to have to deal with that. So anyway, let's go ahead and time warp. Right, so why Badlands? Well, I've never been there before, and a fellow YouTuber / commenter of mine mentioned it and got me all excited about it, so now I want to go there myself. So yeah, Acres, if you're watching this one's for you. I'm going to put a card up here so you can go check his channel out. He's been my little pal on YouTube. We've been talking in the comments of both of our videos. He watches mine. He's better about that than I am, unfortunately. I'm trying to be better about that, and I'm just not where I want to be in terms of reciprocating. But at any rate, he watches all my videos, and I couldn't be more appreciative. At any rate, he does his own channel, and he does some hunting games, and he's recently been doing a fishing game, and he does KSP himself. He also does a couple survival games. I think one of them is just called is it just called The Hunt? Or there's something else. I forgot the name of the other one. I haven't actually watched it, but I've seen the thumbnail. I have been watching... he has Farming Simulator 19. I've been watching those videos. So, yeah, he does kind of, various varied and sundry things. So go check his channel out. A little shout out to him. At any rate, yeah, this one's for him, because I've never been here before, and I want to check it out. So I figured that the fastest way to get there, instead of flying, because these planes take a long time. Even a very fast plane takes a very long time. So I figured the way to do it would be to launch myself on a rocket halfway across the planet. So that's what we're doing here. Let me quick save again, because while the thing looks like it's flying just swimmingly right now, it is liable to just shake itself apart at any moment. So I'll probably fly a little while, quick save, fly a little while, quick save. Ooh, we get a little moonrise over there. Very cool. I'm also looking on the top right-hand. Okay, I think that was just the. I think that was just one of the solar panels. Can't tell, but I think that was just the solar panel. Everything else appears to be fine. Looking right here, got the Kerbal Engineer on. The biome gives you the biome Highlands. So we are over the Highlands. And then when that changes to Badlands, that'll be where we are. So, actually not doing so bad with the air. I was kind of expecting to burn up a little bit more. Oh, Badlands, I'm there already. Yeah, look, we're here. Great. How do I slow this thing down? Very cool, I've never been here. It doesn't really look any different. I don't know why it's called the Badlands, to be honest with you. Let me quick save. Definitely quick save since we're here. And I'm going to do a flare. I'm going to be very dangerous here and kind of flare up and just see what that does. I do fully expect to flip out and to be disastrous for a minute. I fully expect that. But I am bleeding off a lot of speed. And I'm still pretty high above the ground as well. So long as the little green dudes don't mind, I don't mind. I'm going to turn on, I have action groups set up for these guys, so I'm going to turn on my engines here momentarily, try to regain control and land the craft. It looks like Badlands is a pretty big area too, since it hasn't... let's go ahead and fire it up. Might have to wait a second. Oh, wait just a minute. There we go, I'm getting close to that prograde vector. My thrust is up. Now I'm just doing this all manually because I'm better at it than the Kerbals are. Just kind of get it onto that thing. And oops, I shouldn't have done that. Don't want to go into a flat spin. That's the worst thing that can happen. Which it indeed looks like that's what's about to happen. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Here we are, here we are, here we are. What happened to my other engine? Oh, it's okay, it's just flamed out. There we go. Hold tight. And just let it fly the way it wants to fly for a second. Throttle down and pull out of it. There we go. Easy as pie. Gorgeous. Can't even keep a straight face with that one. Very funny. So there we go. Unfortunately, I did burn up a little of my oxidizer, which I really didn't want to do. But I think it'd be okay. Alright, well now we're just flying around the Badlands. So with that in mind, this is a pretty scenic, kind of picturesque, isn't it? Let's find a good place to land. Looks like there's really no good place to land. In fact, the place where I am seems to be kind of the best. I think I'm going to turn around because this looks a little flatter than where I am. Or at very least, it looks like it's a downward slope. So, just going to give it about a third thrust and start turning this guy around. And I haven't really flown him too much. So I do need to be a little bit careful just to make sure he doesn't, make sure he flies okay. I think he does. I think I designed him pretty well once you get control of him, of course. Yeah, no, I was fully prepared for the kind of wipeout situation that was happening there when I just kind of flared up coming in at, 2 kilometers a second. I was fully prepared for that kind of ridiculous situation. But sometimes you can get out of it, sometimes you can't. It's kind of hard to say. Alright, let's gear down. Just gotta focus on this just a little bit. Turn the brake on. A little bit of thrust, but I think I'm done with the engine, so I'm gonna turn those off. And just hold still. Hold her still, Jeb. Hold her still. We're still going pretty quick. Gorgeous. Yeah, no, it is very comical to see the thing flip out like that. But hopefully it gave you an intense reaction. Hopefully your heart was beating out of your chest. You were sitting at the edge of your seat. Hopefully you reached for your drink or your wife or told your kids you loved them. Hopefully something intense. Hopefully that was a moment that for you to remember. Found at the store. And found at the store at Whole Foods. Dogfish Head has a what is this? Slightly Mighty low-cal IPA, which I'm doing keto right now. I'm on a keto diet. I'm going to quick save this so I can have very few carbs a day. In fact, I'm going to stop drinking after this. I'm not drinking anything at all is what I meant to say. After this is the last of that 6-pack, because I've heard that alcohol can stall your diet. So even though I am keeping my carb count down, I've kind of stalled in my weight loss. So even though this is a low carb beer, I'm going to stop drinking them anyway, just so I can lose my weight a little faster. But anyway, I do appreciate that they do a low carb IPA. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, let's do all of our science from the Badlands. Very cool. Or is it? Okay, there we are. Crew report. Temperature. Wow, 2.4, 1.5. Ouch. I mean, it is still carbon. You would think kind of in a special biome you would get something, but no, this is all just very little bit of science. Jeb, step out, buddy. Do a surface sample and an EVA. And let's close this. And we will open up the cargo bay. And we will... Did I mention this cargo bay? Yeah, no, I think I did. I think I did when I built it, yeah. Okay. And we'll use this we'll collect everything aboard. He needs to be inside to do that. We will collect all... There we go. Let's review it real quick just to see if... there's something else. Let's see. The grass here is definitely not as green as other places, but the knowledge that you've been in a place called the Badlands makes you feel cool. That actually is, like, legitimately true. Situation... you expose the samples to the Badlands of Kerb, but worry that it may have a bad influence on them. Let's see. You observe the goo. Temperature readings are quite literally nominal. Sensor seems to be being calibrated. Collecting according to okay. Okay, well, I just figured there might be some funny dialogue, and there was a little bit there. Very cool. So, first leg of the mission is successful. Believe it or not, although I did test this craft, believe it or not, this actually is my very first true attempt at doing this. And yeah, you saw it right there with no editing or anything else. So I'm actually really happy about that, because that is pretty tough to do. So let's throttle back. Let's turn on the main engines, turn off the brake. So turn off the brake. And let me see if I can get myself oriented here. I gotta go really slow though. Also, these wheels don't really turn. Like, I don't think they turn at all, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think they turn at all. So I have to just kind of let, fly. I just have to take off. So let's just do that. We'll just take off. Fortunately, this thing kind of takes off on a dime. Get up there, you big metal bird. There we go. Very cool. Let's assess the situation here. Where am I headed? Where did you come from? Where did you go? I think, man, that's hard to tell. I can't tell which way I'm going. It says 270 on the map, but unfortunately I can't remember exactly where that is. I think I'm going east. I think 270 is east, if I'm not mistaken. So we're actually, Oh no, I'm supposed to be going 90. I think I'm going west. I wish I could zoom in further and see that. 270. Yeah, I think I need to go the other way. I think I need to go the other way. You know what? I'll be able to tell when I pass over north. I'll be able to figure it out. Kind of embarrassing. I can't just figure this out from the top of my head. But for some reason, I'm having a hard time remembering exactly which way is which. And I can't see it on the map right now because it's too small. So let's fly all the way around here to... Okay, so they're considering this. So I'm heading north. Right. So if you're going north, you should take a right to go east. Yeah, so 90 degrees. I was right. 270 was the wrong way. 270 was west. So yeah, I should be heading 90. Yeah, which makes sense, because that's how the launch pad is set up and everything else. The runway and all that. Cool. So speaking of Acres Bravo earlier, he mentioned to me that you should fly, get your speed kind of in the lower part of the atmosphere, fly more horizontal, and then lift up out of the atmosphere. Or I think he probably said it more elegantly than that, but I think that was the idea, is that I was being a little aggressive with how fast I was gaining altitude during the trial runs. So we're going to try to take his advice here. I'm just going to kind of go a little bit more shallow until I'm pretty much going as fast as I can, and at the same time going as high as I can. And then at that point, I should be able to kick on these engines, which unfortunately, again, I don't have a ton of oxidizer left. I haven't used too much, but there is a chance this actually won't go back into orbit. And if that happens, I'll just land and recover the vessel. I hope that you'll excuse me. This mission will be only a partial success. And so, right now, my main concern is clearing these mountains. Let's quick save, because I'm going to try to time warp, but it's dubious. Definitely a little dubious to be time warping with these kind of craft. I think I'm actually going too steep already. I think I'm going to level out and go kind of horizontal. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I timed it. I mean, quick saved. I think I'm going to fly a little more horizontally to see if I can get a little more speed. I think I was still climbing a little too fast, getting out of the breathable atmosphere for the engines. So, here we are. See if I can be a little more delicate with it. Just kind of nudge it down. There we go. That looks a little more reasonable. I think it's funny that the not there, right there. Everything flips out. You get all these like graphical things. And it's funny too, because they're kind of like in a plane. It kind of shows you how the game is rendering them if you look at them like this. Because it looks like it's rendering as these two 2D objects, kind of in an X pattern. Interesting, isn't it? But it's also pretty annoying, so I'm going to zoom out until we see this. So, yeah, here we go. So with an apoapsis of only 14k, I'm going almost 1,300 meters a second. So I think I am going faster at a lower altitude. I think I still have plenty of breathing room for the engine. In fact, I can go and click on it real quick and see. Oh, nope, thrust is coming down pretty quick. And also, I'm maxed out on my speed. But I am gaining altitude pretty quick. So, what's happening here? Thrust is going down. Let's go and kick on those engines. Damn it. Now do it again. Yeah, if you come off that marker at all, it's tough. If I had more, I've seen people have a design more like, how do I say it? Like, where you're able to just kind of like barely go kind of with this angle, but you have so much thrust and so much fuel. You know, the engines that you're using are so efficient, to where you can kind of just like glide into space. Like you don't really have to make a steep ascent out of the atmosphere. You can kind of just like poke up into space, and that's a pretty cool design. But I didn't do a whole ton of design research before I did these videos because I wanted it to be kind of on the spot and me doing it. I will, however, after having now fully attempted this myself, I will go back and watch and see. what other people have done. So I think at this point I'm trying to use the two engines in tandem and see if I can get myself out of the atmosphere a little bit. Oh. Yeah, I might need to be more aggressive still. Because now I think I'm going, and then it flips up. Well, what am I doing wrong? I pretty much used the exact same ship. I think it was its exact same ship last episode and was able to orbit. What do I do differently? Just trying to edge this thing up now while I'm going a little slower, and the thing's less likely to flip out. There we go. And again, keeping an eye on how much thrust we have here. I'm losing thrust faster now, of course, because I'm being aggressive. Turn on the rockets now. And let's see what this number does now. I'm gonna try not to touch the controls and just see if I can keep it flying the way it's flying. Oh, something I meant to do? Shucks. It was more fuel in that bottom stage. And I meant to pump the rest of the fuel into here. That was my plan the whole time. And then I didn't do it. Don't think this is going to go orbital. I don't think it's going to go orbital. It'll get me into space. But that's it. Now I can start going on my prograde vector, see if I can pick up a little bit more speed and altitude at the same time. But yeah, I don't think this is going to cut it. In fact, I'm certain it's not going to cut it. But it will be a space plane. It will technically go into space. And that makes me happy. Oh, shucks. Why are you running out of liquid fuel too? Oh, maybe not. This looks like way bigger. Oh, hold up. Forgot about this. Turn those off so it wouldn't steal it from the other one. From the there we go. Okay, hold on. Challenger approaches. This probably still won't cut it. Don't think this is going to cut it still. Periapsis. 7024. It's as low as it can get. 550. That's a tough one. Am I in space? That's going to recalculate when I go in space, and I'm going to get a red bar. Watch. And boom. Oh, I have enough. Okay, burn time 47 seconds. Quick math, that's 23 and a half. 29, 28, 27. I might actually have enough to go orbital with this thing. I did not know that. I did not think that was going to be the case. I genuinely did not. I did make the, you saw me put this thing in space last time. So, I knew I was capable of doing it. But, I don't know, based on that launch profile or something, I was not confident that I was actually going to be able to do it again. You know what I'm thinking, too? Because I used so much liquid... Oh, maybe that's the case. Yeah, no. Maybe because I used so much liquid fuel earlier in the mission, the craft was lighter, so my margins are greater with this stage. I think that's what it is. I think this thing just has less to do than it did previously. So start throttling back. Looking right here at this number, 7070. 7174. I am technically orbiting Kerbal. Gorgeous. Let's go ahead and point this thing normal. I should have enough reaction now to do that, so I can make sure I'm getting some sunlight on it. And, okay, well, now the question is, can I... Now the video's going to go too long if I try to do all this. Can I dock with the KSS Beta? Well, first thing, let's just do some math real quick. Here we're at the ascending node. We're 12 degrees different. At the ascending node, you go anti-normal. Yes, I do not have enough for the inclination change. Yeah, it's going to cost 464, and I don't have enough. So this thing is actually not capable of rendezvousing with the... Well, that's not true. There may be a way at some point where we cross paths to make the things dock. But I'm certainly not going to fiddle with all that. So, the next question is, does it have enough to go back home? Here's KSC. There might be, because my best bet is to wait for a time when KSC is underneath, essentially at my descending node. So we can time warp and see if that happens. It might be on my next orbit. I don't want this video to go too long, so if it's clear that's not going to happen, I'll just cut it. I'll cut the video short. But the planet is rotating out underneath me. And yeah, I think it might line up such that I can land at least near KSC. Let's see. I'm thinking it's going to be on this orbit. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and kill it. Let's go retrograde. Yeah, this is going to work out. Look at that. If I can bring out my periapsis kind of over here-ish, give me some time. Because once I get in the atmosphere, I can kind of steer the thing a little bit. So really, I just need to get back into the atmosphere. So let me burn down. And... this needs to be somewhat low, because if this is my lowest point over here, then that means for all of this, I'm higher than that point, obviously. So there we go. That should be at least atmospheric to the point where I can do something. Okay, so let's quick save. I might be able to bring this information home. That'd be kind of fun. Let's point prograde. Let's turn off my engines, my rocket engines. I no longer need those, and I would prefer it if all my fuel went to the jet engines. Let's physics warp so this thing flips over a little faster. There we go. Turn her over. And then I'm going to just warp whoop, like that. There we go, back in the atmosphere. And unfortunately, it's still going to be a long ways away. Alright, I think another quick save right here, even though it's a little risky. There's KSC. And coming in pretty hot still. Coming in really hot. I'm gonna start being really aggressive with this kind of downward flare that I'm working on. Oh yeah. Pretty aggressive indeed. Might flip out like last time. Probably gonna land on the runway going the opposite direction that you take off. Which makes sense, right? Trying to hold it kind of around that prograde marker. See, I'm getting a lot of yaw. I'm still also very high in the atmosphere, which is actually a good thing that I'm slowing down this fast, this high. And at this point, I'm not really worried about letting it take over. I'm still kind of too high in the atmosphere to bother with all that. There we go. Fantastic. Fire it up. Turn that program over. Stabilize itself. There we go. Ooh, I could land at this base. But it doesn't make any sense to do that. Like, why would I do that? Going way too fast to be doing any kind of maneuvers, so I am still kind of just like doing little flares. Hopefully having a good Friday. Releasing this video on Friday. I like to take a note of when Friday is. If you've watched my videos, you know that. Every 5 videos I mention it. You know, Friday is a special day of the week for people. People getting off work, people looking forward to the weekend. And Friday's a day I don't actually do a whole lot of watching YouTube. I tend to be doing other things. Or try to. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm lazy on YouTube anyway. But not that YouTube is just for the lazy, of course, but that's what I do. And yeah, let's land it at this airstrip. You know, because another thing too is I haven't demonstrated that airstrip at all in this playthrough. So if you haven't seen it before, I guess this is a big opportunity for you to see it. It is pretty difficult to land on, though. I'm not gonna lie. You have to be going pretty slow because it's a pretty short airstrip. So, but yeah, there's like I think it's called the old KSC airfield or something like that. I guess there's some kind of lore behind them having an old airfield. I guess my best guess would be that that's the prototype for the game. This is kind of what they were working with when the game was in development, and then they wound up upgrading to what we have now. That's my theory, but I can't confirm that myself. So I could do something. See, it wants to tilt down. I could bring my center of weight back a little bit. Like this. Oops. Why is it not oh, I had the wrong button pressed. There we go. Put some of the fuel in the rear of the plane. And turn off the and that'll help a little bit, pushing that center of mass down onto the center of the lift. Maybe yaw over a little bit to get kind of in line with it. And also, I don't want to be going too fast, because again, this is a kind of tricky airfield to land on. My gear's down, yes. Brakes are on. Yes, she's flying a little better now that I've moved that fuel around. Kind of a ballast type effect. These engines do take a second to spool up, so you have to be kind of ready for it. But here in the 60s is okay for me. That's I would like that. It's gonna be really tricky for your fingers too, trying to land this thing. Pressing a lot of buttons over here, and pressing Control and Shift to do my throttle. It can be a tricky thing to pilot to land this craft in this game. This is, however, although I am coming in at a bit of an angle, this is looking like it's going to be pretty good landing. I think I'm fully capable of finishing this one off. Of course, I don't want to speak too soon. Yeah, this is looking okay. I'm coming in at a bit of an angle. I think that's going to be alright. Kill it. And let's drop. Roll over. Let's try to miss this tower. Oh, I didn't see the, I didn't see that. Oh, unbelievable. Didn't see this little thing sticking out of the ground here. I thought I was just gonna right on in. Son of a gun. Man, that was gonna be fine. Jeez. But anyway, for completion's sake, now I have to do it. So I'm gonna make this video go a little longer so I can do it. Unbelievable. Oh, and I'm way back here too. I can time up a little bit. Oh, I said a little bit. Time up a little bit more. Okay. Let's do that balance thing I was talking about. Let's do SAS as well. Here. Let's put the fuel towards the rear. And that should be fine. Yeah, holding well now. Also, I'm wondering if I had SAS on last time. I may not have. I'm going to try to get a little bit over the runway now that I know that there's kind of debris scattered around the airfield. I didn't realize there's like a half. You saw it. Well, you saw it. It's like a foundation to a building. Ooh, too fast. Alright, see if we can kind of yaw over a little bit. Okay, this is even. I know I said this last time, but this is even better than before. This is going to be a gorgeous landing. He says with the utmost confidence. Anyway, yeah, I try to make sure. You know, it's a Friday. I mentioned that it's a Friday, and hopefully you guys are excited about the weekend or just watching more YouTube videos. It's totally fine too. I do genuinely appreciate that. I appreciate you watching our videos anytime. To me, it's the weekend or weeknight, like when you're off at work or whatever, and you're watching our videos. I'm about to hit it again, aren't I? I'm about to hit that damn thing again. Let's see if I can go a little higher this time. Just kind of go over it. I'm like, oh my god. Last time. Also, I'm going to quick save a little closer to the airfield. I don't know why I didn't do that last time. Yeah, SAS on. Let's do all the things. There. Move the fuel back. Can I warp while doing this? I can't. There we go. This is quick save number 1. Oh man, she flies beautifully now. I designed pretty good aircrafts, like when it's all said and done. But this you know, a space plane is not your standard aircraft by any stretch. And yeah, it definitely caused me some problems. Ultimately, it worked out. It's something I'm happy with. Click and click. Alright, let's quick save again, even though I'm coming at this kind of weird angle. Let's get some thrust. And try to correct myself. Okay. A little bit more thrust, a little about the 5th. Maybe less than a 5th. I think I'm like almost level with the airfield. I think we gain a little more altitude here. And also, I feel like I'm flying on the left side of it again. I'm going to air to the right. Just to really be sure that I missed that thing. There we go. Let's go back. Ooh, yeah, she's flying great now. Flying really, really well now. I swear to God. Okay, good. If you hit that thing. Hey, alright, this is a long video and you got stuff to do. So, I appreciate you hanging out with me. There we go. A trip, a rocket-propelled trip into orbit. Well, not really orbit, a suborbital flight. Let's just say that. A rocket-fueled suborbital flight over to the Badlands, picked up some science that the Kerbans were proud to receive, and then went orbital. Unfortunately, didn't get to meet up with the KSS. Maybe another time, another day. But we are going to be able to recover that data and add it to our library of a place that we're just never going to go back to. So, yeah, Badlands are tough because they're on a complete other side of the planet. So, last thing I'll say before I get off here is that I'm thinking about doing my next series sometime soon, 34 Science. That we don't need, but whatever. Think about doing my next series sometime soon. Debating on doing something like Astro Near, Stardew Valley, a couple more. Might jump into the Elder Scrolls series. I don't know. I don't want to. I want to play the games that I want to play, but also I want to play what people are here to watch. So this would be a great opportunity for you. Like if you're not interested in Stardew Valley, for instance, yeah, let me know. It's totally fine. I don't have to play it, and I will take that into account when I'm choosing my next game. But that will be coming up soon, so any feedback would be greatly appreciated. At any rate, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and you have a good weekend. I'll see you next time.